Imagine you are walking through a giant old castle. The hallways are filled with gold frames and paintings of kings and queens from a long time ago. Suddenly, you see a new picture. It is a bright, beautiful photo of the British royal family. In the middle of the picture is a lady named Catherine, the Princess of Wales. She is wearing a dress that shines, but there is something on her head that catches every single bit of light in the room. It is a tiara. It looks like a crown made of frozen stars and tiny white teardrops. If you look at it for a minute, you realize it is not just a piece of jewelry. It is a piece of history that tells a story about love, sadness, and very strict rules. This one tiara has been worn by two of the most famous women in the world. It is a very special crown that people recognize everywhere. But there is a secret about this crown. Even though it is one of the most beautiful things in the royal vault, the Queen of England, Camilla, never wears it. Why would a queen say no to such a beautiful treasure? It is not because she doesn't like it, and it is not because she is being mean. The reason is much more interesting than that. It is about an invisible set of rules that everyone in the palace follows without even being told. Today, we are going to look into the royal jewelry box and find out the truth. By the time we are finished, you will see these sparkly crowns in a whole new way. You will understand how a simple piece of metal and stone can show the world exactly who is in charge and how much they respect the people who came before them. Let's start by talking about the crown itself. This tiara has a very long name. It is called the Cambridge Lover's Knot Tiara. It is not just a pretty headband. It is one of the most important jewels in the whole world. Long ago, in the year 1913, a lady named Queen Mary wanted a new tiara. She went to a very famous jewelry shop called the House of Garrard. She told them she wanted something that looked like a tiara her grandmother used to own. Queen Mary wanted it to be perfect. She wanted it to have 19 beautiful pearls that look like tiny white tears. These pearls hang from knots made of diamonds. These knots look like little bows or ribbons. The whole thing is made of silver and gold. When the light hits the diamonds, they sparkle like tiny fires. When the light hits the pearls, they glow softly like the moon. The design is over 200 years old if you count the original one it was based on. Experts who know a lot about expensive things say this tiara is worth about $2.7 million. But if you ask the royal family, they would say it is worth much more than money because of the stories it carries. Queen Elizabeth II got this tiara from her grandmother. She wore it a lot when she was a young queen in the 1950s. She looked very royal in it. But then, she put it away for a while and people almost forgot about it. Everything changed in 1981. That was the year a young lady named Diana Spencer married Prince Charles. For her wedding, Queen Elizabeth gave Diana this special tiara as a gift. From that moment on, the tiara became famous all over the world. Princess Diana wore it everywhere. She wore it to big dinners in Hong Kong and Saudi Arabia. She wore it when she met important leaders from other countries. Every time she put it on, she looked like a real-life fairy tale princess. People started calling it Diana's tiara because she wore it so well. But even though it looked beautiful, it was not always easy to wear. Diana once told people that the tiara was actually very heavy. She said it hurt her head and gave her bad headaches. But she loved how it looked, so she kept wearing it anyway. She became the face of that tiara. When people saw those 19 swinging pearls, they thought of Diana's smile and her kindness. Sadly, Princess Diana died in 1997. After that, the tiara went back into a dark, locked room in the palace called the Royal Vault. It stayed there for 18 long years. It was as if the palace was waiting for the right person to wear it again. They didn't want just anyone to put it on because it reminded everyone so much of Diana. Now you might wonder how the royals decide who gets to wear which crown. It is not like your toy box at home where you can just pick whatever you want. The royal jewelry collection is very complicated. There are 3 different kinds of jewelry. The first kind belongs to the whole country. These are called crown heirlooms. They go from one king or queen to the next one. The second kind is personal jewelry. This is jewelry that a royal person bought themselves or got as a personal gift. They can do whatever they want with it. The third kind is the most interesting. These are pieces that belong to the person who is currently the king or queen, but they let other family members borrow them. The Lover's Knot Tiara is in that third group. Right now it belongs to King Charles III. Before him it belonged to his mother, Queen Elizabeth. The king is the person who decides who can borrow the tiaras for big parties. But even the king follows the rules of the family. There is no one person who can just give away the jewelry or hide it forever. For example, Princess Anne is a very hard-working member of the family, but she does not own the vault. She cannot tell Catherine she can't wear a tiara. The system works based on rank. Rank means who is most important in the line of the family. There are also rules about who is allowed to wear a tiara at all. In the royal family, tiaras are usually only for married women. This is a very old tradition. This is why you don't see young Princess Charlotte wearing a real tiara yet. Even though she is a very important princess, she has to wait until she gets married or until a very special event happens when she is older. At her grandfather's big crowning ceremony, which is called a coronation, she wore a headpiece that looked like a tiara made of crystals and silver, but it wasn't a real one. This was a smart way to let her look fancy while still following the old rules. These rules help keep the family's history alive. They make sure that when someone finally does wear a tiara, it feels very special and important. It is all about balance. They want to keep the old ways, but they also want to live in the modern world. In the year 2015, something very exciting happened. The Lover's Knot tiara was seen for the first time since Diana passed away. Catherine, who was the Duchess of Cambridge then, wore it to a big party at Buckingham Palace. People were so happy to see it again. It was a big deal because it showed that Catherine was ready to take on the role that Diana once had. She wanted to honor Diana's memory. Since that night in 2015, Catherine has made this tiara her favorite one. She has worn it to many big banquets and parties. Every time she wears it, newspapers and people on the internet talk about how much she looks like Diana. They both have a very elegant style. But for a few years, from 2020 to 2024, we didn't see the tiara at all. This was because of the world health problems and because Catherine was feeling very sick with cancer. People missed seeing her and they missed seeing the beautiful crown. They wondered when she would come back. In July of 2025, Catherine made a very big return. She went to a special dinner for the leader of France. She wore a bright red dress with a long cape, and on her head was the Lover's Knot tiara. She looked amazing. It was the first time she had worn it in a long time. Everyone on the internet was cheering for her. They were so glad she was feeling better. The wife of the French president said Catherine looked very elegant. Then in September of 2025, she wore it again for a dinner with the President of the United States. This time she wore a gold dress. The president said she looked very healthy and radiant. It was a very happy time for her fans. Later that year in December, she tried something new. She wore a different tiara called the Oriental Circlet. This one has red rubies and diamonds. It hadn't been seen in 20 years. By wearing different crowns, Catherine is showing that she respects the past, but she is also making her own history. She is not trying to be exactly like Diana. She is being herself, and she is doing a great job. Now we get to the big question. Why hasn't Queen Camilla ever worn Diana's favorite tiara? As the queen, she can pick almost any piece of jewelry she wants. She has keys to all the best boxes, but she has never touched the Lover's Knot. Instead, Camilla has her own favorites. Her most favorite one is called the Greville tiara. It looks like a diamond honeycomb. It is very big and very sparkly. It was left to the Queen Mother a long time ago. Camilla wears this one for almost all the big events. She also wears a blue one called the Belgian sapphire tiara and a very famous one called the Delhi Durbar tiara. In 2025, she even wore a tiara with green emeralds that belonged to Princess Eugenie. Camilla has so many beautiful things to choose from that she doesn't need to wear the one Diana liked. But there is a deeper reason why she stays away from it. The people who study royal jewelry say that Camilla is being very smart. You see, the Lover's Knot tiara is very strongly linked to Princess Diana. Because of the history between Charles, Diana, and Camilla, some people still feel a bit sad or angry about the past. If Camilla wore Diana's favorite crown, it might make people feel upset. They might think she was trying to take Diana's place in a mean way. Camilla has worked very hard for many years to show people she is kind and helpful. She helps people learn to read, and she helps families who are in trouble. She wants people to like her for who she is today. By not wearing the Lover's Knot tiara, she is showing that she understands people's feelings. She's being respectful of Diana's memory. It is a way of saying, that was Diana's special thing and I have my own special things. There is no rule written down that says she can't wear it, but she chooses not to because she is a thoughtful person. This shows that she has good judgment. She knows which things are worth fighting over and which things are better left alone. These unspoken rules are very important in the palace. An unspoken rule is something everyone knows is the right thing to do, even if it isn't a law. For example, some jewelry is considered off-limits for certain people because it would look bad or hurt someone's feelings. Diana's engagement ring is another example. It is a big blue sapphire. Now it belongs to Catherine. It makes sense for Catherine to wear it because she is the new Princess of Wales and she is Diana's daughter-in-law. It would feel very strange if anyone else wore it. There are also rules about which jewelry belongs to which family. There is a tiara called the Spencer tiara that Diana wore on her wedding day. Many people think that Catherine or little Charlotte will get to wear it one day. But they won't. That tiara doesn't belong to the king. It belongs to Diana's brother, Earl Spencer. It stays with the Spencer family for their own weddings. This is why Catherine and Meghan Markle had to borrow tiaras from the Queen for their weddings. They didn't have a family tiara of their own to use. The way the royals choose their jewelry also tells us a lot about who is the most important. The most famous and biggest tiaras usually go to the most senior royals. Since Catherine is the Princess of Wales and will be the Queen one day, she gets to wear the very best pieces. This isn't because the king likes her more than others. It is just how the system of rank works. It is like a ladder. The higher you are on the ladder, the more important the jewels you get to wear. Even the way they wear them sends a message. When Catherine wears a tiara that belonged to Queen Victoria, she is telling the world that she is connected to the long history of England. She is saying, I am part of this big story that has been going on for hundreds of years. When Camilla wears a tiara that hasn't been seen in a long time, she is showing that she is confident in her role as queen. This tells us that the modern royal family has learned a lot of lessons. A long time ago, after Diana died, some people thought the royal family was a bit cold or didn't care about people's feelings. But today, they are much more careful. They know that what they wear and how they act matters a lot to the public. They use their jewelry to show empathy. Empathy means understanding how other people feel. Camilla's choice to avoid Diana's tiara is a great example of empathy. Catherine's choice to wear it is a way to show her love for her husband's mother. It is a very delicate dance. They have to balance the old traditions with the way people feel today. In a world with the internet and social media, everyone is watching them all the time. One wrong choice could cause a big argument online. The royal women who are the most successful are the ones who understand these hidden feelings. So what is the future for Diana's favorite tiara? Right now, it is definitely Catherine's signature piece. She is 43 years old and she will likely be the Princess of Wales for a long time. She will keep wearing the lover's knot to many more dinners and parties. She is building her own history with it. One day, many years from now, people might call it Catherine's tiara as much as they call it Diana's tiara. But things will change again one day. When Catherine becomes the queen consort, she will have even more jewelry to choose from. She might start wearing the girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. That was the favorite tiara of Queen Elizabeth. It is the one you see on the money in England. Camilla started wearing that one in 2024 to show she was getting more comfortable as queen. When Catherine moves up to those even bigger crowns, the lover's knot might be passed down to someone else. Maybe one day, Prince George will get married. His wife might become the next Princess of Wales, and she might get to borrow the lover's knot. Or maybe Princess Charlotte will wear it when she is a working royal and has her own big events to go to. But no matter who wears it next, the tiara will always keep Diana's memory alive. Every time it sparkles under the lights of a ballroom, people will remember the people's princess. These pieces of jewelry are like bridges. They connect the past to the present and the future. They are not just cold stones and metal. They are living symbols. Catherine knows this very well. When she wore the tiara in 2025 after her battle with cancer, she was sending a message of strength. She was saying that she is still here, she is still working, and she is still carrying on the legacy of the women who came before her. It was a symbol of resilience, which means being able to bounce back after a hard time. The real reason why one woman wears the tiara and the other doesn't isn't about a fight or a secret argument. It is about being kind and being smart. Catherine wears it because it is her job to carry on Diana's title and her work. She has been accepted by the people in that role. Camilla doesn't wear it because she wants to be respectful and create her own path. It is a very mature way to handle a complicated family history. The royal family thinks about these choices very carefully. They have learned that respect is more important than just wearing a pretty crown. The Cambridge lover's knot tiara will continue to shine for a long, long time. Each time we see it, we will see a new chapter in a story that started over 100 years ago. It is the magic of these heirlooms. They don't stay stuck in a museum. They come out and live in the world, helping each royal woman tell her own special story while still remembering the ones who wore it before. If you thought this story about the secret rules of royal jewelry was interesting, please make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss a new story about the royal family. We love sharing these behind-the-scenes looks with you. What do you think about the lover's knot tiara? Do you think Catherine should keep wearing it as her main crown, or would you like to see her try more different ones from the vault? And do you think Camilla is making the right choice by staying away from it? We want to hear what you think. Please leave a comment down below and let's talk about it. It is always fun to hear your ideas and your favorite royal moments. Thank you so much for watching and for spending time with us today. We have a lot more interesting stories coming up soon, so stay tuned. We will see you in the very next video. Now let's take a quick look back at what we learned today. We learned that the lover's knot tiara was made for Queen Mary in 1913. We learned that it has 19 pearls and many diamonds. We found out that Princess Diana made it famous, but it gave her headaches because it was so heavy. We learned that the king is the one who technically owns it now and lets others borrow it. We also learned that Camilla is very wise for choosing other tiaras like the Greville honeycomb one to avoid any drama. And most importantly, we learned that jewelry is about more than just looking good. It is about history, respect, and the way we remember people. The British monarchy is like a very long book, and each tiara is a sentence in that book. Every time Catherine puts on that crown, she is writing a new page. It is a story of a family that is trying their best to honor the past while moving into the future. It is a story of how things change, but also how some things, like a beautiful pearl tiara, stay the same for a very long time. It is amazing how much a little bit of gold and some shiny stones can tell us about the world. Whether you are a big fan of the royals or just like pretty jewelry, there is no denying that the lover's knot tiara is one of the coolest treasures in history. We hope you enjoyed learning all about it today. It is always a pleasure to dive deep into these mysteries and find out what is really going on behind the palace walls. There are so many more jewels in that vault, each with its own story to tell. Maybe next time we can talk about the giant diamonds in the king's scepter or the story behind the queen's favorite necklace. There is never a shortage of wonder when it comes to the royal family and their amazing collection. Until then, keep an eye out for those sparkles in the news. You never know when the next big royal photo will come out and show us another beautiful piece of history. It is a world of tradition that never fails to surprise us. Have a wonderful day, and we will talk to you again very soon in our next royal update. Goodbye for now.